Annyeonghaseyo. Good evening. Welcome to the latest in my Korean movie previews, where we look forward to exciting new movies and television coming out of South Korea. Recently had the opportunity to see and review Ransom, so check that out. Great movie. But today I would like to take a look at a movie that's coming up. In fact, has been released already in South Korea. So it's extremely fresh. It is a movie called Concrete Utopia. It's a science fiction disaster thriller, and it is directed by Uhm Tae-hwa, and it stars the great Lee Byung-hun and Park Seo-joon and Park Bo-young. And it's set in, roughly speaking, the present day, where the world has been reduced to rubble in a massive earthquake. And it's apparently based upon a webtoon series of two stories, Pleasant Bullying and Pleasant Neighbor, I believe also referred to as Happy Boy, written by Kim Sung-young. And I have to say, I'm really looking forward to this movie. It's right in my wheelhouse. So I think before we go any further, let's take a little look together at the trailer.
저는 이 아파트가 선택받았다, 뭐 그런 느낌을 받았습니다.
바깥은 좀 어때요? 지옥.
우리나라 식량 금방 다 떨어질 텐데 이걸 어떻게 감당합니까?
다 같이 살 방법을 먼저 찾는 게 우선이지 않을까?
다 같이 살자는 거예요? 다 같이 죽자는 거지?
구심점이 될 만한 사람이 있어야 돼.
우리 아파트를 지키려면 주민들이 스스로 나서야 돼요.
하나, 둘, 셋!
우리 함께 다 같이 잘 살아봅시다. 잠깐, 이거 엄청 비싼 거거든요.
아파트는
도와주세요.
주민회가!
이 황금 아파트 주민이 아닌 분들은 단지 밖으로 나가주시면 감사하겠습니다.
쌀이랑 다른 게 뭔데? 내 사람이 어떻게 그래?
가만히 좀 있어. 우리 지금 다 얼어 죽는 거야! 잘 나가!
여기서 쫓겨나면 다 끝이야. 죽는다고.
이게 다 아파트를 위해서야! 우리 아파트!
여기가 미친 것 같아.
다 됐고, 우리 주민들, 내 가족들은 절대로 지키자!
그 아파트 얼마 안 남았어.
Yes, great trailer. Very interesting. So, number of great things in there. First of all, the music actually sounds fantastic. That very 8-bit video game sound. Sounds like a really good soundtrack. Looks visually stunning and fantastic. Some of the scenes of destruction and that kind of blue-gray look filter. Really like the look of that. So the world there has been reduced to rubble by a massive earthquake. We're assuming the world. I haven't read the webtoon. Seoul certainly is destroyed. It looks like some kind of worldwide event. And the only building left is the apartment block. We can see there it's the only one still standing. What it's made of, I don't know. And nobody knows for sure, I guess, how far the ruins stretch or what the cause of the earthquake may have been, or indeed the disaster that triggered the earthquake. But in the heart of Seoul there's that one apartment building left, and it's the Hwanggang Apartments. As we can see there, the We don't have to imagine. You can see on the screen that the living conditions for the survivors in the city, let alone in that apartment building, are hellish. And as time passes, outsiders who have survived in the rest of the city are going to start coming in to the apartments, trying to escape the extreme cold, looking for shelter, looking for food and water. And as you would anticipate, and we can see there, before long, the apartment residents are unable to cope with the increasing numbers, and their survival is threatened. And the residents have to start taking some extreme measures to survive. Certainly seems to be, and it doesn't seem to be necessarily that there's a united front within these apartments. So it looks like there are factions. Some people are not necessarily happy with everything that's going on, the actions they're having to take. So some extremely interesting stuff in there. Really looking forward to that. The cast, of course, is the three leads, first of all. Lee Byung-hun plays Uhm Tae-hwa, and we can see him there. He's introduced with a bandaged head. He's a resident in the building, and he takes on the role of the leader who works to protect the building from outsiders. Whether he takes that on reluctantly or not, I don't know. And he certainly, you can see a few comedic elements in there too. I think there's very much an element of dark comedy in some of this. His reaction on being called out seems to be quite amusing. Lee Byung-hun, of course, is a massively popular actor who's appeared in dozens of great movies and TV shows, many of which are amongst my all-time favorites. This guy is always worth watching. Has appeared in a couple of Western movies as well, like G.I. Joe and Red 2. But some of my personal favorites would include Mr. Sunshine, fantastic Netflix K-drama set in the late days of the Joseon Empire. But also he plays, many people will know him from his role as the frontman in Squid Game. And of course, he'll be reprising that role very soon in Squid Game 2. He's also been in fantastic movies like The Fortress and The Good, the Bad, and the Weird. Astoundingly good actor. Definitely one of my favorites. Co-starring with him in this is Park Seo-joon, who plays the part of Min Seong. And Min Seong is a resident who gets chosen, whether he's chosen or press ganged, we don't know, to assist Uhm Tae-hwa. And I believe his character starts out as fairly shy and good-hearted. I think he may be a civil servant or some kind of public servant. But gradually he's got to find a tough side pretty fast in this explosive and disintegrating situation in the apartment building. See that he's certainly geared up for survival in this particular image here. He is I've seen him before in a couple of movies, one of which I've actually got here is the Divine Fury, which is an exorcism themed movie. Very good movie indeed, very enjoyable. And also a very fun movie called Midnight Runners from a couple of years earlier than that. Check that one out. It's a lot of laughs. It's a good movie and good action too. Rounding out the three headliners of the cast, there's some great supporting actors too, but the three main cast members is an actress I'm not necessarily that familiar with, Park Bo-young. She plays Min Seong's wife, Myung-hwa, and she's a former nurse, very warm character who cares a lot for those that are hurt in dangerous situations. And I think the relationship between her and her husband is going to be a key emotional part of the movie. She's going to be placed in some awkward positions too, given maybe not everyone can be treated or helped or saved. It looks to be a key part of the movie, the relationship between her and Min Seong. I haven't had a chance to catch any of the other properties that she's been in, so I'm looking forward to seeing her in action for the first time. And you're eating some canned fruit of some kind there. I guess this is the conditions that we would be reduced to. So very much looking forward to seeing that cast in action, seeing what the chemistry is. The director of the movie is Uhm Tae-hwa. Again, I'm not particularly familiar with his work, other than one movie, which is Vanishing Time, A Boy Who Returned, which is a very quirky fantasy drama. Pretty good movie. Very enjoyable lead actor in that too. And he also co-wrote with a guy called Lee Sun-ji, or a girl called Lee Sun-ji, because I'm not familiar with their work either. So why am I interested in this movie? Well, first of all, I'm a fan of anything dystopian, post-apocalyptic, and disaster related. So it immediately gets my interest. And anything starring Lee Byung-hun is also going to get my interest. The fight that the residents have, not just against the elements to survive, the lack of food, sickness, cold, etc., but against other groups and indeed people inside and outside their own apartment, looks to be some very dramatic stuff. So there promises to be a lot of tough choices, a lot of ambiguous situations, a lot of tension. The movie looks fantastic. I just think that from what I've seen, the clips I've seen in the trailer, it visually is stunning. I really hope I get the chance to see it in a cinema so that it does it justice. But otherwise, I'll be eagerly looking forward to it on a digital purchase or streaming. It is, interestingly enough as well, there is a follow-up movie already based on, I think, Pleasant Neighbors, the second story in the webtoon. And it depicts, that one apparently gets even darker. So it depicts how people change for the worst in order to survive. It'll be set several years later than Concrete Utopia and is set to star, excitingly enough, the mighty Ma Dong-seok, or Don Lee, for those who know him, and under his English alias. That I'm looking forward to too, even though I'm looking forward to this really exceptionally, because I haven't seen this yet. So, but to know there's a second one possibly coming is even better. The movie is produced and distributed by Lotte Entertainment. It was released in South Korea on August the 9th, and I'm awaiting details of North American distribution and release dates. I do not believe, and I may be wrong, that there is a North American distributor specifically lined up yet, although I think the movie has been sold to 152 countries. So there's got to be somewhere in there for Canada where I'd like to see it. There will be a showing at the Toronto Film Festival in September, I believe. Not something I'm physically able to achieve, but anyone in Toronto should check that out if they get the chance. And I'll certainly be looking for Canadian and North American release info as soon as I can get it. So anyway, thank you for watching this Korean movie preview. If you've enjoyed it, please leave a like, leave a comment so we can chat about this and other Korean movies. And please consider subscribing to the channel. So until next time, and hopefully there will be a review of Concrete Utopia, be well, and I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. So take care. See you next time.